Welcome to the SVG-TV news for Wednesday, June 4th, 2014. I'm Khalil Cato with the details. The government's promised 12,500 laptops for secondary school students and their teachers are now in the country and will soon be ready for distribution. The laptops were offloaded at the Camden Park port earlier today, which was witnessed by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, representatives of the sponsors, and several government officials from the Ministry of Education. In a brief statement at the port, PM Gonsalves says they anticipated the laptops would have arrived about a month ago, but they had to travel from as far as China. He described their arrival here as a joyous occasion. He says before the laptops are distributed, each one will be tested by senior persons in the Ministries of Technology and Education who will be working along with several persons from the Special Education Training SET program.
Storage, we have the security in place. Exams have started, they're ongoing, and the target date to commence after testing and to await the conclusion of exams to hand out these laptops. We intend to start, I've been advised, around the week of the 23rd of June. It may take 3 weeks, maybe a month, so I don't want those who don't get first to start to worry. They have a schedule in zones to distribute these laptops. In relation to the community college, I intend for them to have theirs in September. I've been advised that we will need for all the students and the tutors in the community college system another 1,000, which will be available in September.
The Prime Minister says over the summer a training program will be held for over 700 teachers to get them familiar with the equipment, so it will be an easy transition working along with their students in the classrooms.
Because the computers without the secondary school teachers buying in, the laptops without the teachers buying in, would not be as effective. And I want to say to the teachers that every one of you in the secondary school, when you do this program, when you do this training, and for most of them, it would be quite easy. But when you get your certificate that you have completed the training for this particular purpose, I will have for each of the 700 of you, as an appreciation for you doing the training, a smartphone.
I want to be a teacher.
For every one of those. And 4G, Gerald? 4G. So I just want to say what is in store.
Meanwhile, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Nicole Bonnie-Baker, says the new laptops show the commitment and dedication of the Prime Minister and his team to the Ministry of Education and what it is trying to accomplish.
And I'm sure that the whole country knows that the ICT in Education Trust would really not have grown by the leaps and bounds by which it has done without our Prime Minister's impressive foreign policy relations, which he has with many countries throughout the world. And just a few years ago, we were standing at the airport at E.T. Joshua, and we received half of 15,000 laptops for the children in primary schools. Some of those children have now graduated and moved on to the secondary level.
Eventually got your 15,000.
Yes, Prime Minister. and we have discovered through using of the Migo laptops that for the CSEC program, which our secondary students follow, that we needed a little higher level piece of equipment that would be able to offer the programs, offer the different research capabilities and other teaching and learning programs that we could not have in the Migo. So the Ministry of Education, Prime Minister Gonsalves, is indebted to you and your cabinet for having managed to pull this off again.
Bonnie-Baker used the opportunity to appeal to the recipients of the laptops to take proper care of them.
So from the Ministry of Education, from where I stand in terms of the plant and equipment, I just want to urge the new recipients to care the laptops. We know when we had the initial rollout, some students were being exposed for the first time and they had a lot of damages, you know, not being used properly. We want to ask you to safeguard your laptops when you take them to school. Be accountable for them. Be accountable because your parents will also be held accountable at some point if you damage them, and you have to have them replaced, because it is not the intention of the ministry or the government to say you damage your laptop and that's it, you don't get to follow the program in secondary school. We want all of the students to be exposed and to follow the program.
Meantime, Chief Education Officer Luann Gilchrist also urged the students to use the laptops for the purposes for which they are intended.
Chief among those purposes is the improvement of the educational outcomes. We know that in this digital age, we cannot continue to use analog means of teaching our students. We have to engage our 21st century students meaningfully using the technologies at our disposal. Yes, chalk and talk still do have their place in the classroom, but we have to support our students and who are natives of the technology. We have to support their interest, raise the level of their engagement in their academic pursuits by equipping them fully with the hardware and the software to make them true natives of the digital age. We want them to be able to compete with their counterparts in the region, because Antigua has a program which is similar to this. We want them also to be able to compete with their counterparts globally. We do not want our students to exist in a little goldfish bowl. We want them to explore the world virtually and eventually, when their means allow, for them to explore the world physically.
And Prime Minister Gonzalez thanked those who have collaborated with his government on the initiative. He noted that the financing of the laptops is from a grant from the government of Venezuela, which was promised to him by the late Hugo Chavez. According to PM Gonzalez, the partnership also involved Dennis Publishing, a firm owned by Felix Dennis, a British citizen who is also a citizen of SVG. He said Dennis Publishing did not only help to negotiate to get the best type of laptops, but also agreed to pay for their packaging and shipment.
Their team negotiated with Microsoft to get free Microsoft software for these laptops, indefinite in the life of the laptops. And in addition, there is a lovely carrier bag for the laptop, for each of the laptops. And Dennis Publishing has put together an additional manual to assist. A very user-friendly manual with a lot of information. I've seen a draft. So I want to thank the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. I want to thank President Maduro. I want to thank Felix Dennis and Dennis Publishing. I want to thank all the members of staff in telecoms and education. Gerald Thompson has been working on this from the very beginning. And our Foreign Minister and Minister of Technology, Camilo Gonzalez, who unfortunately can't be here with us today because he's in Paraguay.
Today, the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment launched the National School Nutrition Project. At the launch of the project, Chief Nutritionist Andrea Robin said improving nutrition education accompanied with school meals for primary and secondary school students is crucial. Robin says one of the goals of the project is to improve the nutritional status and eating behavior of children across the country.
We're hoping to increase the knowledge and skill base of school feeding staff and school-based food vendors in both primary and special education schools. Objective number 2, as part of this capacity building, we're going to develop a pool of nutritionally sound and culturally appropriate menus for the school feeding program by geographical location. Objective number 3 relates to the nutrition education curriculum. And so we're hoping to strengthen the knowledge and skill base of HFLE teachers in primary, special education, and in secondary schools. One of the outcomes from this would be developing of sample lesson plans using the National Dietary Guidelines.
The Mustique Charitable Trust is providing support for the nutrition program through a grant of $28,000, which will be distributed over a 2.5-year period. The Central Water and Sewerage Authority, the CWSA, says it has been forced to expand both areas and hours of water rationing due to the absence of rainfall, which the company says has further reduced the inflows from the 3 major rivers at Dalloway, Majorca, and Montreal. Production at these systems, according to the CWSA, is now estimated to be at about 30%. The rationing areas include all areas between Bookament and Caliacor, inclusive of Kingstown and its environs, Arnisvale, Belair, Gomé, Daphne, the Mariacor Valley, and some areas in the southeast of the island. The CWSA is advising residents of these areas that in order to minimize inconveniences, the scheduled outages will be mainly confined to the period between 8:30 p.m. and 5 a.m. each day. Affected residents are also being reminded that interruptions during the day may also be experienced until the rain returns. The company is further appealing to all citizens to continue to observe strict water conservation measures by eliminating wastage, reporting leaks, and limiting water use to only priority household activities. The petroglyphs located at Argyle are said to be being removed following a period of consultations. The removal of the petroglyphs, which are located at the western fence of the Argyle International Airport site, is a collaborative effort between the National Trust, the IADC, archaeologists and geologists from Argentina, whose services are being provided free of charge through their government. Chairperson of the SVG National Trust, Louise Mitchell-Joseph, says she is proud and happy to see the project progress, noting that there were times when they felt like giving up.
I mean, we found the experts to do this job from Egypt, and then Egypt descended into chaos with the Arab Spring, and then we were not able to have them return. And then we had another team from another country who offered to do it, who could have done it, but at the cost of $500,000, which we could not afford. So it was such a struggle, and it was so painful to think about the possibility that we would have lost this piece of our heritage. Because for me, this is where our Vincentian identity is supposed to start. It's supposed to start with our ancestors who came here in the dugout canoes, and when they were here, they left tracings of their history with these petroglyphs. So for me to have lost this would have been an absolute tragedy. So when the Argentinians came to our rescue, it was just the most amazing thing to happen. So I definitely want to thank Minister Camilo Gonçalves, because it's the work in his Ministry of Foreign Affairs why we're able to have this team from Argentina coming and doing this for us for free.
Mitchell-Joseph says so far the exercise has been a successful one.
Experts told us that these rocks would actually fall apart when you tried to move them. And so I believed that most likely that was true. And the question was, how many cracks would there have been, and how would we have put it back together? But the Argentinians, with their expertise, they've been able to remove so far 4 of the most important images completely intact. I mean, it is just like a blessing that this happened. So we now have, I don't know what is going to happen with the other images, but I can tell you I think this is the best team that could have done it, and it was really meant to be that it was the team from Argentina who did it, because trust me, they know what they're doing.
Meantime, head of the Argentinian team, archaeologist Monica Barone, says they're proud to be creating history in St. Vincent and the Grenadines by removing the petroglyphs.
Sometimes I think I'm dreaming yet. Yes, that is not really happened to me, because this is an opportunity maybe I could never think about before. Really, I'm not an expertise in rescuing. I know about rescuing a lot, but an expertise in heritage maybe. I work with hunter-gatherers in my country. There are no noticeable, because hunter-gatherers leave few things on the earth, but they are important to us, such important as these drawings, such important as the pottery you find here, because all they are signals and messages and behaviors from the peoples of the past.
Students from the St. Vincent Grammar School Heritage Club were on hand today to witness the work being done and shared their views about the activity.
Very exciting on my part, because I get to see these carvings created by our ancestors, and I feel like I can make a relation, a link between them. I can almost see into, you know, their lives, their culture, what they used to do. And it's very interesting and to see how hard the Argentinians have worked to excavate these rocks with the carvings, and I'm very grateful.
It's an amazing opportunity to see them actually taking out the rocks, and from what I've learned, it's basalt rock, which is created by lava when it's cool and it creates layers, so it's been very difficult to take them out. So it's a very long and tedious process, and I think I'm very grateful to the Argentinians for coming here free of cost to help us out with this.
It is still too early to determine if charges will be brought against former Registrar of the High Court, Tamara Gibson Marks. That's according to Commissioner of Police Michael Charles, who told SVG-TV News that he is awaiting a copy of an audit which was expected to be carried out by the Director of Audit, Delia Seeley. According to Commissioner Charles, copies of the audit were first expected to be turned over to the Attorney General, then the Director of Public Prosecutions, then on to him, where the investigation will continue and a definite decision would be made as to the plan of action. Gibson Marks resigned her post last month on advice of the Attorney General. However, no official statement has been made as to the reason or reasons for the sudden resignation. Earlier, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves says the three agencies are dealing with the matter and they should be allowed to do their work. Farmers begin to receive replacement stock for animals lost in the December floods of 2013. More stories on the local scene when the evening news continues. Welcome back. The first four of over 65 targeted pig producers who are to be assisted under the recovery program for the agricultural sector received replacement stock for the animals lost in the December floods of 2013. Earlier today, Minister of Agriculture Saboto Caesar handed over the first batch of pigs to 4 farmers at Georgetown, which is to be followed by the distribution of another 64 pigs on 2 other occasions. This assistance is being provided under the recovery program for the agricultural sector, through which farmers affected by the trough system of December 2013 are being provided with assistance to restart their farming operations at advanced levels. According to the ministry, the livestock sector recorded a loss of animals and infrastructural damage to housing and fencing amounting to some $873,000, which has seriously affected the smaller farmers. Minister Caesar stated that the pigs are being provided through the assistance of the Farmer Support Company, the FSC, and that in addition to being given replacement stock, the objective is to ensure that the farmers are placed in a better position than they were before the disaster. The distribution of pigs will continue over the next month and a half. Curries and Hazels Incorporated, local distributors of clean and white bleach, has committed to the sponsorship of this year's Fisherman's Day activities. 100 t-shirts along with 25 cases of clean and white bleach were handed over to the Fisherman's Day Committee yesterday. The t-shirts will be worn by the fishermen and their assistants, and 100 fishermen will each receive 1 gallon of clean and white bleach to be used for the cleaning and sanitizing of their boats. Stay right back. We'll be right back with Carnival Beat. Carnival activities in the Northleeward constituency will be held this weekend, commencing with the staging of the Miss Northleeward 2014 pageant on Friday night. Pageant coordinator and secretary of the Northleeward Sports Association, Romina Matthews, says Friday, June 6th, will see the staging of the pageant at the Petit Bodel Hardcourt, and will see 6 ladies representing various villages across from the Northleeward area. 5 of the 6 contestants visited us here at Dorsetshire Hill earlier today and used the opportunity to introduce themselves to the public.
On Friday night, I just want everyone to come out and support the young ladies. You're going to expect nothing but talent, pageantry, poise, intelligence at its best.
Hi, my name is Shiwani Messiah and I'm representing Spring Village and I'm your contestant number 1.
Hi, I'm Marissa Small. I'm representing Fit Use Village and I'm contestant number 2.
Hi, my name is Ashika Edwards. I'm contestant number 3 and I'm representing Petroglyph.
Good evening to everyone. My name is Heshman Justin and I will be representing Chimuka and I am contestant number 4.
Hi, I am Shanta Williams. I'm contestant number 5 and I will be representing Rosal.
Meanwhile, Public Relations Officer of the Northleeward Sports Association, Kenville Horn, says persons can also look forward to an exciting Juve and street party following Friday night's pageant.
The Queen Show. We will travel from the Petroglyph, from outside Petroglyph School where the pageant is taking place on the hard court, and we will go to Fit Use and circle back to Chateau-Belair in the Juve, and the following day we will have the street jump up.
Okay, and that will climax?
That will climax the activities for Rural Carnival.
Okay, you can use this opportunity to urge persons to come out and be a part of the pageant, also the Juve and the street jump up as well.
Okay, last year the Northleeward Sports Association, Rural Carnival was voted most improved carnival, and that is because we were on target. We encourage people, and we are going to do it this year to encourage persons to desist from any form of violence. If you are confronted with any form of violence, then you have to show some sort of restraint, because we don't want any such violence to stop the carnival.
The Adrenaline Mass Band says it is catering for approximately 300 masqueraders to be a part of its band for Mardi Gras on July 8th. When SVG-TV visited the mass tent, we were told that unlike years gone by, registration has been going very well. Jamisha Wright has the details in this report.
Masqueraders of the Adrenaline Mass Band will this year be given a love experience, with some 9 sections to choose from, including 3 for children, from its 2014 production. When SVG-TV News visited the mass band, Public Relations Officer Juanita Alexander spoke in detail of Adrenaline's production for Vincy Mass 2014.
The first one we have here is Drunk in Love, and this is the section that just sold out immediately. Basically, as soon as it hit Facebook, it was sold out. It's a really beautiful section. What's different about it is the tiara. I think that's really captured people. It's just different, and it's young and it's hip and it's what people want right now.
Great.
And then we have Dream Lover as our blue section with neon green stones and a beautiful headpiece with peacock feathers in it. This one is doing very, very well. There's still some seats, some places in it. Then the next one is the red and white one. Some people know the costumes by colour. You know, a lot of us just call it by the colour. But this one is actually called My Valentine.
There's another sold out section here.
Yeah, this is French Kiss. Oh, we just love this one. It's so pretty. I love the vibrance of the yellow, and the stones are different. It comes. You can get a choice of the monokini style, the shorts with the strings, or the plain, or the panty. And this is the Sexy Love, green and silver with mohawk headpiece. And that one has a gentleman to go with it, a little man to go with it. Yeah, there's still spaces in the male section.
Okay.
You would have seen the Pure Passion. That was the one that Kizzy was displaying for you, right? Which also does have space available. And then this is the male that goes with it.
All right. And tell us about the children section.
Okay, well, we have three kiddie sections. The blue one is the one that they're working on in the tent today.
Yes, I realised.
Yeah, and it's called Love's Blues, and it's a female-only section. The next one is the Lovebirds, a pretty name. It has lots of little dove-like wings in the headpiece, and the heart shapes in the waist piece, and that's a female only. And then the last one is Sunshine of My Life. but that one is actually male and female. So the male will come with little pants.
Join us tomorrow during Carnival Beat for a glimpse into the 2014 production of the Imagination Mass Band. For Carnival Beat, I am Jamisha Wright.